This is the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Kick back and hang with your hosts, Kayode, Lewis, and Joel. Let's mark out.
Yes, y'all. Man, 2026 is here, Lou. On the Mark Wrestling Podcast is back. We're missing our third partner, man. He's getting well. That thing called, what's it called? The flu is going around, man. We gotta, man. My man got it, but he's on the mend, Lou. But it's us. It's just us tonight. It's just us.
The OGs.
Yeah, the OGs, man. We're back. It's been a long year, 2025, filled with lots and lots of stuff in terms of pro wrestling. A heck of a year for pro wrestling. A good year for a lot of the promotions. Speaking of promotions, Lou, I just remembered tonight. Was it tonight or is it next week?
Next week.
Premiere of TNA on AMC.
Yeah, I believe it's next week, the 15th.
Okay. I thought, Lou, I might have to make that appointment viewing, bro.
That's what I'm thinking too, man. I'm thinking next Thursday's appointment viewing.
Next Thursday, we are adding another show to watch. AMC, TNA. We'll bring you on the mark some remarks on the show when that happens. But tonight, y'all, we are bringing you episode 116, the first episode of the year, and Raw had their first episode of the Raw of the year at the was it the first Raw of the year? Yes,
it was.
Yeah, the first Raw of the year at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, celebrating 1 year of Netflix on Raw, which is crazy.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
1 year of Netflix.
Holy shit. That went by fast.
Exactly. And the Raw gave us a little upside down with the Stranger Things themes show. And, Lou, some people are saying, meh. Like, some people are saying, was it any good? Did they do enough? I think people were looking for more like of a gimmick thing going on. Like, I'm glad they didn't do that because it's just too fake. Like, now you're bringing me out of wrestling, which is we already know what pro wrestling is. Now you're trying to take me to believe that AJ Styles is in the upside down. Like, come on. But this past Raw, people wanted more. People were saying, "Hey, man, what was the rest? What happened? Where was all the other stuff that was supposed to go on?" And we didn't really get anything crazy, man. Any thoughts on the Raw?
Yeah, I have a few thoughts. So, as a general episode of Monday Night Raw, it was pretty good. Another podcast had made a good point that if this Raw had taken place at any other point in the year, like let's just say May or September, then we would have been raving about it just a tad bit more because you had title changes. You had a great main event between CM Punk and Bron Breakker. That was a very entertaining match. And, it would have felt more eventful. I don't know how else to put it. But the fact that this was the first Raw of the year and it's supposed to set the tone for 2026, I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. It had its moments. Let me say this. What did work was, like I said before, the main event. Punk, I'm growing to accept the fact that this is just what we're going to get from him. Our great co-host Joel had made a good point when we were all chatting about it earlier this week that CM Punk is pretty much in his Terry Funk era, which is like he's the old too. Right. He's like the older grizzled veteran that just won't stay down and he can still give you a run for your money. And once Joel made that point, I was like, you know what? That makes sense. So I'm going into 2026 just accepting that. I'm gonna not hate, quote unquote, on CM Punk so much. He still doesn't do much for me at this stage in his career, but I get it. I get it why he's still the world champion and he's still main eventing PLEs and things like that. He still pushes merch and all of that as well. So, but Bron Breakker looked like $1,000,000, even though he lost the match and we all knew he wasn't going to win the title. He looked like $1,000,000, and that elbow drop through the announce table, that was a really cool spot.
Yeah.
So the main event worked. We had Becky Lynch regaining the women's IC title. That was a surprise. I actually thought they were going to keep it on Maxine Dupree for a little longer, and then you had
Lou.
Didn't you have a tag team title change?
You had a tag team title change? I don't think so. No.
What was that deal with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky? Didn't they?
God, they won the tag team.
Okay. So that was for the championship. I was in and out of that match, but once they got the 3 count, I was like, oh shit, that was actually for the titles.
Yeah.
Lou,
I gotta tell you, bro, that Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree match was not good. It wasn't good.
Nah, it wasn't. And if anything, it exposed Maxine Dupree that she's not ready for prime time yet.
Maxine.
Yeah.
And you know who else it exposed? The dumb ref. That's who it exposed. Are we supposed to believe, Lewis, that the ref didn't see on his angle that his eyes are supposed to be that low where he did not see that she was holding on to a rope? Like, this is what, Lou, they're in pro wrestling. We got to make these refs more credible because what's happening is that everything they're doing, because we know so much now as fans, there's a microscope that's magnified times 20 on them. And everything that they do is scrutinized because they look like buffoons. There's certain things, like
that's true.
That match or that ending of the match where he's not even looking anywhere else. He's just hunched down low to do the 3 count. It's not believable. A ref would be looking everywhere to make sure everything's good, blah, 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 blah. And then boom, hits the 3 count. But instead, we had the ref kind of just act like there was nothing else going on, or that Becky doesn't have a history of cheating, or we got to make the refs smarter. Like 2026, let's make the refs more smart.
It's true. I agree with you,
man. Come on,
I agree.
And I didn't like the way Maxine, to me, that the way Maxine lost, it kind of proves that they're probably not too confident in her. And I wouldn't be either. I don't think she's ready at all.
Me neither.
I don't think that. I think that they trying to make her credible with training with Natty didn't transfer over into that match at all. It just wasn't a good match, and I think Maxine needs a ton of work. Is there? Some people are just stars. They're just stars, and some people are just not made for that big of a spot. And I don't think Maxine will ever be a megastar or superstar. I think she's mid to low card tops. Like I just, am I wrong? Am I tripping?
Nah, I don't think you're tripping. I don't know. We'll see how the year plays out with her. Yeah. But I kind of agree with you on the main event part, at least. Like, I don't see her as being a megastar, headlining main events for PLEs and stuff like that. I don't see. I just can't see it. I see her ceiling as being exactly that, like in the league of the women's IC Intercontinental Champion or women's US Champion, or if they want to throw in a partner for her and have her go after the tag team titles. But I didn't want to comment on what didn't work. Something else that didn't work was the whole Stranger Things cross promotion.
Exactly.
That was a little bizarre to me. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you why, because they did nothing with it other than like production design.
Yeah.
That's really what it was for. It was just like theatrics. Like you didn't get any of the cast members showing up. You didn't have any uh funky supernatural angle backstage with like the Wyatt Six taking people into the upside down. Like you didn't have anything like that. Like at least do something with it. So if I was a paying fan in attendance, that is, I would be like, all right, I mean, it looks cool, but like, what the hell is the purpose of this?
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's on Netflix and they were trying to capitalize on the finale of Stranger Things? Like, that's it? Like, what was the purpose of it? So I felt like that fell very flat, in my
That
opinion.
was extremely flat. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing that fell flat too was the crowd. For the Barclays Center for Brooklyn, New York, that crowd was a little weak, man. I gotta say. I'm sure it might have been louder if you were there in person, but I mean, come on, Kayode. We've been watching wrestling for decades, like literally decades. Like that was for a New York crowd, that was pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, I agree. And that was one of the shocking parts of the night for the show was that it felt very tamed for a New York crowd, especially for what they were getting in terms of it's the 1 year since Netflix. It's the first Raw of the year. We're in New York City. Like all of those things, you would have thought that this crowd was going to be like crazy, right? But instead, we kind of got like a lukewarm, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I don't know if the crowd is starting to sense WWE and who they are now in terms of the company.
That could be.
Or if it was just a Monday night and people were tired. Like, listen, man, I don't know, but yeah, it was pretty interesting, and they didn't do much, like you said, with the whole Stranger Things. And Lewis, honestly, bro, I think I'm okay with it because if they did anything supernatural or whatever, it just would have felt like a cartoon show. Like I don't want to see any of that. If they want to do something like that with like one of the, I don't know, Wyatt Six people, or I don't know, whoever else is the supernatural type of person in on the roster, then you do that with them and make it corny and whatever. But don't inject a Randy Orton or AJ or Cody. Like that's whack. It's corny. I don't understand it. Do you remember the day, Lewis? You probably don't. Do you remember the days of WCW and RoboCop, that cross promotion?
Oh boy,
it was embarrassing.
Yeah,
it was embarrassing.
I didn't watch that in real time, but like every time I see the archival footage, because that's like early '90s, right?
Yeah,
that was abysmal.
Come on, man. I don't.
RoboCop.
RoboCop, bro.
I'm gonna have to
check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit that clip, man. That was terrible.
Yes, it was terrible. It was terrible. But yeah, man, let's move on, man, because I wanted to get to a very interesting thing that's happening. This past Tuesday, we had Oba Femi defend his NXT title against the great Leon Slater, who's going to be a champion, a big time star. As long as he keeps his body healthy, he'll be big. And Oba beat Leon Slater in the middle of the ring, and left the title in the middle of the ring. Now, before this, Lewis, SmackDown or Raw, one of the shows had already aired the big vignette. Oba Femi. We already knew he's coming to the main roster.
Yeah.
Right? Oba's coming to the main roster. We got Trick Williams, Jordan Grace, Javon Evans, all among some of the big call-ups. I love it because all of them did their thing, with the exception of Jordan Grace. I'm sorry. To me, Jordan Grace on NXT did nothing. She didn't move a needle for me. I think her booking was not well done. I don't think it was good. I don't think it benefited her. I don't know what it was about, but I don't know if she just wasn't hitting with the crowd. I don't know. But we'll see how she does on the main roster. Me personally, I think she will get pushed to the side a little bit. I just don't see her unless they really push her into the point where it's obnoxious. I don't know if I see her being a big threat or a big thing on the main roster. But Trick, Oba, and Javon, though, they should be slotted into easy. That should be an easy push for these guys. They're all great in their own aspect, like in their own way. Lou, what's your thoughts on the call-ups that's happening?
I love it, and it's very necessary for WWE to do this, especially at the very beginning of the year. You know, traditionally they wait until after WrestleMania to start calling all these guys up from NXT, but why not now, man? It's still fresh. The Royal Rumble's upon us, so we could potentially see all of those folks in the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches, respectively. I think it's great. You need new blood. You need new faces. Something that we've touched upon on recent podcast episodes is that we are starting to see the main event big stars on the main roster. They're showing their age, and I don't mean like they're showing their age in terms of they're not able to put on good matches because they can still work, but you can just see that they're carrying the company, but they're not the future, if that makes sense. Like Cody Rhodes he's like the present, he's the here and now,
right.
But he's not necessarily the future because he's like damn near 40, if not 40 already. CM Punk is another one. Seth Rollins is another one. Jey Uso is another one. Gunther is up there a little bit in age too, I believe. Actually, he is. So all of those guys, yeah, it's cool for like the next year or two, but then what do you do after that? So now is the time to really start grooming whoever you got down in NXT. Bring them on to the main roster. We need some fresh faces. Oba Femi has STAR written all over him. That man is going to be a juggernaut in 2026. He's got the full package. I mean, I don't think I've spoken about Oba Femi enough on the podcast, but he's great. Oh, yeah. Javon Evans, super, super athletic. He's so talented. I think this is all good, man. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I agree. Javon is a star, like you said. Lou, what's your thoughts on Trick, though? Trick. What's your thoughts on Trick?
Trick is an interesting one.
Trick fall into all of this?
You know, fresh faces is always a good thing. I think even if Trick Williams doesn't end up being the megastar that some people think he can be, he he's still going to be a good hand to have on the roster, right? Like you can still put him as Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion, whatever. He's got the look, he's got the build. You know, his in-ring work, it still leaves a little to be desired. But if 2025 taught me anything, or even 2024, is that crowd participation with a wrestler's entrance and theme music means a ton, especially in WWE, a la Jey Uso. Jey Uso is not the greatest in the ring, but nobody gives a damn because he's got the whole fucking arena and stadium. And it's for it creates a hell of a visual. So enter Trick Williams when you got whoop that trick. People are gonna go nuts for that, and people when fans are there live in attendance, they like to be heard, they like to be seen, they like to participate, they like to engage with the product as much as they possibly can. So I think Trick Williams has that to his advantage. So when that music comes on, you got the bounce and all that, you know. That's something on a side note that has been working tremendously for Swerve. Swerve is a great in-ring worker, and he's gotten better on the mic over the years, but something that helps is his theme music. So
Theme music, bro.
yeah, I think Trick Williams would be fine, and then eventually they could probably turn him heel.
True. Yeah, they could probably turn him heel. The theme music, like you said, is everything right now in terms of kind of getting him over. In a,
Yeah.
in a large part of his whole act is that theme music and whatnot. He's progressively gotten better as well.
Mm-hmm.
In ring has gotten better, but the mic work, the charisma, the star power, the aura. I mean, he's by far just beyond.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting where they slot these guys in. It's going to be very interesting to see just how long it takes to either get them to the top or to build them. And I'm just very curious because the call ups sometimes they just don't hit. They're big in NXT. They're monsters in NXT, but then when they get to the main roster, they're like Mickey Mouse. You don't hear them. They're tiny. They're insignificant all of a sudden. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with these individuals. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Jordan.
Me too.
I want to see what happens. Where I want to see Homegirl win. I just don't know if the star power is there, bro. I don't know.
I think it is. I think if you give Jordan Grace some good opponents and some good stuff to work with, I think because Jordan Grace, she just has the look, right? Like she's got a good presentation. It's just a matter of what's going to stick, right? Like in terms of the angles and how she's presented, because the NXT audience is different from the general WWE audience that tunes in on USA Network or streams on Netflix. They're a little different from NXT because NXT is, yes, they are on a broadcast channel on CW, but it's a smaller, intimate audience that appreciates more of like the underground indie, smaller aesthetic, if you will. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that translates into the WWE main roster for her, because she's never worked for a huge company. It's always been TNA, right? TNA. So should be interesting. But fresh face, that's what you need at the end of the day. Just keep the pipeline moving.
I hear you. Listen, man, I want to get to some AEW. MJF is the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I'm not mad at it. I think it's a good look. But Lou, what do we do with MJF? Now, here's what's going to happen. I mean, we got Maximum Carnage next week. And he'll be facing Bandito.
That's going to be fire.
For the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. This is going to be a dope match.
This is going to be Bandito is awesome.
Bandito's awesome. The crowd loves him. He brings his family to the shows. I mean, how can you hate on the man who brings his abuela to the show, Lewis?
Yeah.
You can't hate on a man like that. You can't. But this match is going to be crazy. What's your thoughts on the old MJF of it all, man? Like, where do we go with him? How long does he stay? Is this just a little while? Like, what's your thoughts, man?
MJF, he's an interesting guy because in 2025, he wasn't really on my radar as a top AEW guy just because he wasn't around. He was out doing this, that, and the third. It almost seemed like he was doing mostly stuff outside of AEW. And then when he was in AEW, he would only be there for like a month or two. That's just the year that he had, right? So I wasn't really expecting him to win the title World's End, but he did. And I wasn't mad at it, just like you. I'm not mad at it. MJF is a fucking phenomenal heel. He's arguably the best heel in the company. What that entails for 2026, like what do you do with him? Here's my thing. MJF as the world heavyweight champion is fine. I just want to see him wrestle more. I don't want to see him in suits every single week. Like, I actually
Right.
do want to see him compete because at the end of the day, you're the world champion. I'm not saying that you got to defend the title, 4 times a month, but you do need more. He does need to have more of an in-ring presence, in my opinion, because the last few AEW champions, they were fighting champions. You had Samoa Joe, Hangman Page, Jon Moxley. Those were all guys who were on a weekly basis just they were doing the damn thing. Even if they didn't outright wrestle every single week, they wrestled enough to where you knew, like, all right, he's deserving of being world champion. And now with MJF, since he's won the title, how many times has he actually wrestled since then? So I would like to just see more of that in 2026, like just more title defenses, more, even if you throw him in some tag team matches occasionally, just more in-ring competition from MJF, because we know he can talk. We know that he's a fucking bastard, and you just want the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's doing his job. But just more in-ring stuff. But I'm gonna tell you, man, they need to keep the strap on him for a good portion of this year, because by the time he loses it, that pop will be insane. Like, if they had him hold it all the way through All in London in August, just imagine when he actually it'll be like Jon Moxley when he lost the title last year to Hangman at All In.
Yes.
Texas. It'll be just like that. Like, that pop would be amazing. So yeah, they need to just have MJF just be an absolute bona fide jerk every week on TV. Just make him detestable.
So if he held that title up until August, was All In is in August?
Yeah, I think it's August this year.
If he held that title to August, which is a possibility.
It is.
But you got Lou, it's an embarrassment of riches. I mean, you got Hangman, Swerve,
Yeah.
you have Omega, all chasing this title. Are we saying that between now and August, none of those men touch that title until possibly Will Ospreay comes back and wins it? Like, man, I don't hate it. I love long title runs. I love it.
Especially for heels.
Especially for heels. It makes the most sense. And MJF can do a lot between now and August, obviously, with that title, promos, all that good stuff. I just wonder if it's realistic for it. It can be done. I just wonder how the booking for that would look. Like, you can't have Swerve constantly lose to him, and you can't have Hangman constantly lose to him. You can't have Omega lose to him all. Like, but can he beat them all? Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Why not? Why not? If you want to make him the heel world champion, like, make him beat all your top baby faces, and who's to say that he's gonna beat them clean? Because it's not like the perception of Swerve Strickland or Hangman Page is going to change just because they lose to the world champion. Like, I always go back to the Attitude Era, because during the Attitude Era, they did a really good job of doing just that, which is having your top baby faces lose to champions, but they were still over and they didn't really do any damage because the heel would do heelish things. And what immediately jumps out to me is Triple H and The Rock. Whenever Triple H was holding the title, he pinned The Rock quite a few times on television, like on SmackDown or Raw, and you know what I mean? And like, he's had successful title defenses against him and Mick Foley and shit like that. But that I mean, it didn't lessen The Rock's credibility. If anything, it made the crowd eat it up more, because it's like, this fucking guy retained again. This fucking McMahon Helmsley era, like, go away, damn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always think back to that era because they did that so well. So if they did something like that, like just have MJF like always play dirty and cheat to retain the title. That's what heels are supposed to do. I don't
That's what
want
he's
to see
supposed to do.
heels win clean all the time. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. We'll see what happens with MJF, but I tell you that Maximum Carnage joint with Bandito,
Yeah,
they're gonna tear that house. They're
that's gonna
gonna.
be great.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Um, Listen, man, I wanted to bring up my girl Willow Nightingale.
Oh
We
yeah,
love you here at On the Mark Wrestling. And also, we love you, and we want to give it up to you. Double champ, PBS champ, and the first women's tag team, half of the tag team champions. Now, Lewis, Willow had a celebration on this past Wednesday. And during this celebration, Lewis, I must say, some things stood out to me about Willow. Not only is Willow a beautiful person inside and out, you could just tell that. You could just tell that, right? I'm going to give her that. Willow is very talented in the ring. She can wrestle. But her promos are painful to listen to and watch sometimes, bro. And
yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
it comes off awkward. It comes off a bit. I don't even know what the tone she's going for sometimes, but it just misses the mark. Like it just seems very character driven. It doesn't seem serious. And when she's trying to be serious, it just seems very quirky and dorky. Like I do not enjoy her promos. And I think it takes me out of really believing she can be the top of the top. A Mercedes Moné. Can she ever get there? Now, Mercedes is not a great promo, but she's believable in every other aspect of a heel or baby face. The look, the attire, the way she wrestles, the way she carries her. I mean, she's a star. Willow is just missing that little piece. That little piece that's missing in the puzzle is the promo, Lou. And watching this past Wednesday, I realized your girl needs some work. Lou, where are you at with Willow right now as a double champ? Is the sky the limit, or is the promo the thing that could hold her back? Where are you at with it?
I mean, look, I love Willow. Just the character, like everything, just works with her. I don't know what it is. Like, and she, like you said, she's such a nice person. I've never met her before. I've never had a conversation with this woman, but she seems like such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I think Willow Nightingale is always going to be endearing to the crowd, and I gotta tell you, Kayode, maybe the way she talks on the mic actually works in her favor in some ironic way. Because when I look at her promos and I'm listening to her talk, yes, sometimes they're awkward. Not all of them, because there's some promos where it's like it's pretty straightforward and it's fine. But like this past week on Dynamite, it was like a little, it was a little cringe worthy, a little bit. But I don't know. For some reason, it might just work for her because she's supposed to be like this dorky, quirky, lovable teddy bear of a person. Like that's what she's supposed to be, right? She's not supposed to be ultra serious. And now we've seen promos where she's super serious, and it works. But I don't know. Maybe she's not supposed to be excellent on the mic. I know it sounds weird.
She doesn't have to be excellent, but I am looking for believability from her. And when I'm listening and watching her, I just feel like she's portraying something that's just seems very fake, like, or just very cartoonish. Like it just doesn't seem like. And today we're gonna do. And I'm going to make sure. And you know what? I may be the underdog, but I'm gonna do it for all of you. Like it just seems
Yeah.
like Lou. It just
Look, that was a
just-
great impersonation, Kayode. Look, I think, look,
Yo.
and just you impersonating her, that's what makes her unique right there in a nutshell. That's exactly why Willow is over, and that's exactly why she's a double champion. I'll
And listen,
tell you, it might just work in her favor.
And dude, I again, I love Willow. I think she's fantastic, and I think she can easily fix this little part where I think in some of the promos where she can be a little more serious without seeming like a caricature of something.
Yeah, like a caricature. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I think she could take notes in being a little more serious in certain aspects. But I think you are right that this is what gets her over, and this is what makes people love her, is the fact that they feel like they're one of her. She's one of them. They
Yeah.
can see her out, and she take a picture. She strike up a conversation. Like she'd make you feel like you matter in the world that she's in, and I get all of that from her. I think for that next level, if she ever decides to chase the bag and go to WWE, that she's going to need that, or
Oh yeah.
she'll never make it. Like she's going to need that piece. So we'll see. But I love Willow. Willow is the new champ. She had a little celebration. The promo was a little iffy, but we still love Willow here at On the Mark Wrestling. We still love her. We still love her.
We do. I might have to go out of my way sometime and do a meet and greet.
Yeah, you may.
And I don't say that a lot about a lot of wrestlers, but yeah, she's just she's captured my heart as far as a fan is concerned.
Willow's great. Willow's great.
Yeah.
Lou, I wanted to touch on something, man. We had the triumphant return of Andrade El Idolo.
You mean El Idolo that's returned for like the umpteenth time in the past year?
Yeah, Lou, it's not exciting anymore. Like I mean, who cares? Like, I cannot believe this is they had him basically unveil himself the same way he unveiled himself the first time he came back before he couldn't come back because of contractual issues. Like, come on, man. Do we care about Andrade, man? Do we care about him at this point? Great talent in the ring, but what are they going to possibly do with him?
I'm telling you, man, they need to. I think this is the last straw for Andrade. Like, if 2026 doesn't work out for him in AEW, he might as well just be like the floater, as I like to call him, like the pro wrestling floater. Just pop in like you've been doing these last few months at different promotions, GCW, House of Glory. You know, I don't know. I think his English is pretty terrible.
Pretty terrible, bro. Pretty terrible.
And it's not so much that like he can't speak the English, but it's just like the way he enunciates. I don't know. He's a great wrestler though, phenomenal wrestler. So
Yeah.
I mean, let's see what the Don Callis family can do for him, because you already know, like, some of those top guys in the Don Callis family, they're gonna probably leave the group or do their own thing. So that's his in right there. So, but I think this is the year where he needs to like prove why he should be considered a big deal. Because otherwise, that's it, man.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It again, extremely talented. That's not even a question. But I think for me, Lou, the English is so bad, so bad. It just like it really just doesn't. When I'm listening to him, I'm not receiving anything because I'm just trying to make out every other word what homeboy's saying, and it takes me completely out. And they got to stop force feeding that portion of who he is. He needs a mouthpiece, and I can see why he's with Callis. Callis can be that for him, and have Idolo just be a dope, fly, just beating people up type of dude. You can do that easy. That's an easy thing. But but having him trying to speak English to deliver an important promo takes me out of it. Do what they you know what they should do? Do what they do with the Kabuki Warriors sometimes. Have subtitles and have it be like eerie and dark and like Bruce, like just he's brooding, like have that type of vibe. But what he's doing now with or trying to do these like full-fledged 2-minute promos, no, it takes me out completely.
Nah, you know it's bad when Stephanie Vaquer cuts a better promo than him. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and her English is still pretty rough, but at least she's improved. You know what I mean? Like she's trying. Like, and I'm not saying that he's not trying, but he just doesn't sound very good trying to speak English. He just doesn't. Not for what he's trying to achieve as a pro wrestling promo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Well, Lou, listen, man. I wanted to bring that up. Any other anything else, man? You wanted to touch upon, my brother?
No, that's it. But I am excited because it's Royal Rumble season. The Royal Rumble is my second favorite pay-per-view of the year, or PLE of the year. So I've actually gone back and revisited like 3 Royal Rumble matches in the past week. So
really? Give the people some recommendations, bro.
Well, let me see. What did I revisit? I revisited. Actually, I watched like 4 in the past week or so. So I revisited 01.
Okay.
Which is my all-time favorite Royal Rumble match. That's the one that Stone Cold won. I revisited 02, where Triple H won that one. I revisited 06, just for shits and giggles, where Rey Mysterio won. Very mid Royal Rumble, I gotta say. I didn't care for it too much back then. Still don't care for it now. That roster was very weak at that time. And I revisited last night the 08 Royal Rumble at the Garden. I was present for that one. So I'll never forget that one. And that was a great match. Even apart from John Cena making his surprise return was like the cherry on top, but the match itself was just really entertaining. You were there too, right? Okay.
Yeah, I was there too. Yeah.
That was a hot crowd.
Left because of that John Cena thing.
You were one of those.
I was so angry.
There were people in front of me that were pissed. They were fucking pissed. Angry.
But Lou, let me show you something real quick before we end the show. Do you know what this is right here, my brother? This is where they're supposed to be holding the Rumble in 22 days in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah.
They are building stadium as we speak. Bro, This looks like dirt and metal. I don't know how they're going to get this done in 22 days. This looks, I don't know what they're going for in terms of the look, but this looks barren. Like this looks, I don't know, bro.
Listen, I'll reserve my judgment until January 31st when we see the final product. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to make of that.
Looks a little scared.
Like, why didn't you just book it? Why didn't you just have the event take place at, the venue that you guys always use? Like, it's not rocket science.
You have my man in Saudi Arabia in 200-degree weather trying to build a whole entire brand new arena stadium thing. Come on, man. I don't know.
Lord.
We'll see what happens, bro. But listen, y'all, thank you for joining us for episode 116 of On the Mark Wrestling, the first podcast of the year. We're going to bring you more stuff. Joel will be back with us. And we're going to discuss the first episode of TNA and see how that went. Hopefully we'll get that because they air on Thursday. So hopefully we'll be able to watch it and give you a show or whatnot. If not, we'll talk about it the next show. But listen, y'all, until next time, Lewis, peace.
Peace out, everybody. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
You have just listened to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at On Wrestling. And email us on onthemarkpodcast@gmail.com.